Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Here we have Arroyo Earth Team, Castro Valley Earth Team, and San Lorenzo Earth Team, and they are going to be presenting on what they did this year.
Just so you all know who we are, if you do not know us already, we are going to be hosting today. I am Ben. I am the campus coordinator for Castro Valley and San Lorenzo High, and I will be introducing those teams when they are up to present.
And my name is Charlie, and I am the coordinator for Arroyo High.
So before we hop in, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the police violence and ongoing unrest that is gripping our country at the moment. I know this is a stressful time for a lot of people, and it's affecting people in a lot of different ways. So I just wanted to say that we're all coming from different places, but we are here to support each other. And if anybody is feeling especially stressed or anything like that at the moment, Earth Team is here if you need anything. But moving on, just some background about Earth Team. Our mission is to empower urban youth to become lifelong environmental stewards through environmental education, skills development, and the building of community connections. So I'm sure that all of our interns and a lot of our partners are aware that we offer internships at 8 high schools throughout the East Bay, where we recruit and hire a team of 14 interns at each school. Our interns complete various service learning projects in their communities in which they participate in restoration and field work. And collaborate with environmental professionals. Students are guided to think globally, connect regionally, and act locally. And here are some nice pictures of our teams working throughout the year.
So today you will first hear from Arroyo Earth Team, and then Castro Valley Earth Team, and then San Lorenzo Earth Team. At the end of each of their presentations, there will be time for questions. And that means any intern from other Earth teams, but also the guests who have joined us today. You can ask any questions about their experiences or what they did during the year. At the very end, after all 3 presentations have concluded, we have left time for reflections. So if any intern wants to share their favorite thing that they did or any other reflections about their experience with Earth Team, we welcome those at that time. And also for any project partners or guests who would like to reflect upon how awesome it was to work with Earth Team this year. Some reminders before we get started. We are recording this, so if you would not like to appear in the recording, this goes for guests, not interns, you can shoot me an email and we can edit you out. The second thing is we ask everyone to stay muted unless they are talking. We also ask people to turn off their cameras unless they are presenting or asking a question, and that'll just help with internet speeds. We also ask that you hold all questions until the end of each presentation where we have time for questions. When it is question time, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away, or if you feel more comfortable, you can type them in the chat and Ben can read out the question. And during question time, any intern from that team can respond to those. And just a quick reminder for the interns who are presenting, when you begin your presentation, please say who you are, just say your name. And then when it is time to go to the next slide, please say next slide, and that'll tell me when to, when to click next. All right, so with that, I am going to hand it over to David, who is gonna kick us off for Arroyo Earth Team.
All right. Hi, I'm David Yee. I'm an intern at Earth Team at Arroyo High Earth Team. I'm here with my other interns and our Earth Team coach, Charlie Chesney. And today we're going to talk about some of the things we've been doing as part of Earth Team. Next slide.
Okay, hi, my name is Ivan, and for marine debris, we have collected a total of 2,553 pieces of litter. Types of litter we collected were food wrappers, straws, cigarette tips, beverage bottles, etc. Locations we collected litter from and explored are Lake Chabot, Oral High School, and Havel Shoreline. Next slide.
Hi, I'm Mario Guerrero, and I am a junior at the Arroyo High Earth Team. Um, sorry, I don't think my camera's working. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, there it is. Silent. Uh, over the past half year plus, we have cleared a total of 3,500 plus square feet of invasive species, and at Don Castro, we mulched about 196 square feet of the premises to stop invasive species from growing there.
Hi, my name is Madeline. We did water and soil testing where we collected the water from the environment and we tested for dissolved oxygen, alkaline, nitrate, HP, temperature, and turbidity. And then we also collected soil in the same areas where we tested for nitrate, phosphorus, potassium, and pH. Next slide.
Hello, I'm Nicole Gonzalez, and what we learned in class. So during our time in Earth Team, we learned many different things. We learned how environmental waste impacts us, and we learned different things such as how native species and invasive species do and affect us. We also practiced many different skills such as public speaking, presenting, interviews, educating people with posters and storytelling, and we learned through many different methods such as games, presentations, and outside experience. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Arturo, and one of the things that we did during our time on Earth Team was tour the Reach Ashland Center, which is a center that provides youth from ages 11 to 24 health and career development services, as well as many other programs. One of the things we learned about going there was how green their building is, and one of the reasons are the renewable energy panels on the roof of their building. Another was a 3-bin system, recycle, compost, and landfill, and also a vegetated green roof that provided vegetables and a place to hang out. Lastly, the building was covered in windows to provide natural sunlight and save electricity. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Calvin, and I am going to talk about an art show project that we did in late February and we presented in early March. So what we did was that we collected waste that we found, and then we happened to build creations out of it. And as you can see in some of these pictures, these creation was made by San Lorenzo High and Arroyo, which is us. Okay, so along the creations, we wrote up statements and like research-based facts about how waste impacts our waterway. And we were able to get the attentions of 9 people, and we consider getting anybody's attention a success because we were able to educate them and show them the importance of our work and how they could help minimize damage being done on our waterway and most importantly, our world. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Maria, and I'll be talking about the social media campaign. So what was the purpose of our campaign? Our campaign was intended to educate people about the importance of reducing and reusing materials in our homes so we don't use like extra resources from the earth. Through educating people, we encourage them to modify their daily habits so we can start taking more care of the earth. So what was the audience response? At the beginning of our campaign, we did one survey that was asking them if they care about how much they care about the earth, how are they taking care of the earth. And at the end of our campaign, we did like a reflection survey where they reflected how they took care of the earth. The amount of people reached, in total, we reached a total of 2,248 people. Next slide. Here are some of the things that we did to educate people. So first we start like with a virtual spirit week. On Monday was like take the survey. Tuesday was like write down a goal on how you're gonna help the earth. Wednesday was Earth Day Pride. We encourage them to like go for a walk and like look around and see like nature. Thursday was like be creative and make something cool like out from the materials that you have in your house. Friday was like watch a movie. And then like here are some of other like stuff that we did. Posters, we did a game. We educated them on where like to put the waste, like how to separate waste properly. Next slide.
This year, we designed an educational multiplayer online board game modeled after the game Pandemic. So Plandemic includes its own rulebook, buff and debuff cards, and game pieces to provide a fun experience for people to learn about how detrimental invasive species can be on our environment. Next slide.
Hello, my name is Israel. These are some of the things that we were going to do before COVID-19 caused us all to stay home. We were going to go on a tour of Hayward Regional Shoreline concerning rising sea levels. We were going to do a Cooling Our Communities tree planting event. We were going to work on the Arroyo garden. We were going to have a bird identification lesson and outdoor adventure trips. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Mason, and I worked on the slide that focuses on recommending ways that we can reduce waste at our school. And first, I think Arroyo students can invest in reusable water bottles instead of plastic ones to reduce the amount of plastic water bottles on campus. Second, I think Arroyo staff members and student members can both work on conserving water at home and at school to support our local watersheds. Then I think that we can reduce our biggest source of waste at school by encouraging teachers to assign work online rather than on paper. And last, I think that our lunch providers, or we can convince our lunch providers to give us like recyclable and compostable utensils and plates. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Tommy, and I'll be talking about what interns said about Earth Team. So this is an internship where we got to learn, help clean up the environment, and work with amazing people. Next slide. And speaking of working with amazing people, this is a list of all the people who have worked with us this past year, and we'd like to say thank you for your hard work to all of you. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Yeah, really, thank you. Next slide.
Okay, thank you.
And does anyone have any questions?
So thank you, Arroyo Earth Team, for your excellent work this year and your fantastic presentation. So now we're going to open it up for questions for all of our guests and any interns from Castro Valley or San Lorenzo. You can unmute yourself to ask a question or type it into the chat box.
Hi, I have a question. It's Ben again. My question is about your Plantdemic board game. Is that complete and publicly available? Because if so, I would love to take a look at it. Maybe play it also.
Yes.
So I am in the process of digitizing it. It is almost complete. It will be available online for free on Tabletopia. And then for anyone who has a paid subscription to Tabletop Simulator, it will be online available there as well. So keep an eye out on the Earth Team social media and blog for how you can play that game.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We did get a message from Miss Adams, who is the staff advisor for Earth Team at Arroyo High. And she said she just wanted to thank the seniors at Arroyo for their leadership and wish them the best in future internships.
Thank you so much, Miss Adams. And thank you again for letting us use your room for the year.
Yes, I appreciate it, Miss Adams. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It was nice and helpful for us using your room because I wouldn't have rather sat outside.
Yep, thank you.
Well, I thank you and I miss you all. And I know this was a great program and I hope to continue it next year.
All right. Last call. Any questions for Arroyo Earth Team? All right. Well, thank you everyone for your great presentation. And I'm now going to pass it over to Castro Valley Earth Team.
Yes, so Castro Valley High's Earth Team this year. So we had two different Earth Teams at Castro Valley High this year. And this team here is the SWAT Earth Team. So this is the Watershed Action Earth Team. There was also the CETA, Something's in the Air Earth Team, that did a lot of great work this year as well. But this is just our SWAT team, so I will go ahead and pass it off to the team and let them describe to you what they have done this year. So next slide.
All right, hi, my name's Jalen, and I was in charge of the litter. So this year we picked up 1,856 pieces of litter at our school and at the MLK shoreline. And we also completed 10 at-home waste audits, and below are some pictures of our interns doing this. But in addition to this, we also did bi-weekly trash pickups at our school waste, and more specifically food wrappers and plastic bottles. We also collected soda cans, paper, and a lot of used school supplies.
Next slide.
Hello, I'm Ivan. So this year in restoration, we're really proud because we removed 1,900 square feet of invasive weeds from a lot of different locations, such as MLK Shoreline, Oyster Bay, and on Castro. We also placed 1,000 square feet of mulch to create gardens in Don Castro, but to also prevent weeds from popping up in other places, such as the parking lot. In this time, we really had a lot of close connections to each other, and we've also come to appreciate our earth a lot more. Next slide. We learned to use a variety of different tools, and we also learned how to identify a lot of different invasive species, mostly the stinkwort to the right. Next slide. And this fennel, which is the tall and stocky plant. Next slide. And next slide. So as you can see, as we work in MLK Shoreline, we always have someone by our side, and a lot of great bonding can actually come out through this. Next slide. Here at Don Castro, we're turning this abandoned little lot that was filled up with weeds such as crabgrass, I believe. Next slide. Into a very nice looking garden that was very friendly to native plants. Thank you. Next slide.
All right. My name is Dayton. And this is Outdoor Trips. Next slide. Sonoma Coast. In the Sonoma Coast trip, we went hiking. We observed the nature around us. We camped out and ate really good food while making sure we left. We didn't leave a trace of trash or food behind. We went to the beach and we took a lot of pictures, did fun activities, and just relaxed. Next slide. While we were there, we also visited many cliff sides and viewpoints where we watched the view and talked about the extensive Native American history. This history included Fort Ross, which is a fort along the coast. We visited that has connection to the Russians and the natives that were inhabited the coast, and some Native Alaskans brought there. And we had a lot of fun. Next slide. The people I met on this trip were really cool, and I had a lot of fun during many of the activities with them. Everybody's personalities made the trip an even better experience. The people I met and the people I knew on the trip all made it really exciting, and overall, I'm really glad I had the chance to go through this experience and will forever be grateful. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Shyla, and during the overnight snowshoeing trip, I had a lot of fun. We walked around the Calaveras Big Tree State Park and learned about the Native American history there. This was very interesting to learn about and gave us an insight to what the forest was like hundreds of years ago. Next slide. We had a rough and windy night, but the next day we went snowshoeing. It was very cold outside, but we learned a lot about the natives who would use snowshoeing to get around. And it was a bit challenging to do on our own, but it was an enjoyable experience nonetheless. Although it got a bit rough at times, the trip was an educational and delightful adventure. I also got to meet some new and interesting people there. Next slide.
Hello. I don't know if I can be seen or not.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. Okay, so this, oh my God, I'm falling apart here. This is the social media campaign for Castro Valley and the waste campaign. So for Castro Valley, we had our team be called the Plastic Pummelers, and Earth's team is working to reduce household waste during shelter in place. And we post this campaign came with like social media. So we talked about updates on our social media and signing our pledge to reduce our household plastic waste. We were planning to do this at school and survey students, but obviously because of the pandemic, we weren't able to do this. So we created an online pledge in which we could do the same thing, but also practice social distancing. Some of our posts on Instagram get like 141 likes, 123 views on Instagram with its story. We have a total of 532 followers on Instagram and 634 posts on Instagram as well. In the next slide. A lot of our fellow peers have created post ideas and story ideas. And one of these is the Camilo Beach in Big Island, Hawaii. The picture included shows the beach littered with a lot of trash. And we just want to like let our audience know that like imagine wanting to go to the beach and spend time with your family or loved one, but the beach is covered with trash. What would this make you feel like? So we're just trying to raise awareness about how bad really everything is in the environment and what we could do to make it better. Next slide. These are more examples of what we could be doing. The post to the left is Akara, a beach in Ghana, which is overrun with plastic. We talk about how sea life no longer returns to this beach or this part of the beach, and the water is so dirty because of the plastic, which causes the sea life not to come back. And the overload of plastic makes life harder for the people living on this beach. And whenever you live by a beach, fish and a lot of your resources come from the water as well. So this just makes overall life very hard. And what we should be doing instead, when ordering a package, it is always a good idea to try minimizing plastic purchase. So on Amazon, you can actually, there's a way to request less plastic in your order, which is always good. My friend taught me how to do this. I think I'm going to be posting a tutorial on how to do that on the Instagram as well. And it just makes the environment better. We don't need a lot of plastic in our orders. We just need what we bought, not a lot of plastic packaging. And then when you are going to be throwing something away, look for certain symbols that can indicate which plastics are recyclable, or which bin the trash you are holding belongs in. Next slide. Important issues. Consequences of mixed recycling. Next slide. What is mixed recycling? Mixed recycling is combining all of the recyclables and putting it into one bin instead of having aluminum, glass, plastic, and paper all in a separate bin. So again, this is just to raise awareness of getting people to be aware of what they're putting in the bin. Like if it's a Ziploc bag, obviously know which bin to put it in. And if it's glass, we all know it goes in recycling. Just be aware of your surroundings and what you're throwing away. Why is this bad? The consequences of mixed recycling. Mixed recycling from the US ends up in developing nations or third world nations as well, for the locals to sort through, which usually just ends up with the glass and aluminum being removed, but the plastic remaining there. So obviously they can't do anything with the plastic, so it just stays there, and it's bad for them, it's bad for the planet. This results in entire villages being filled with plastic, and plastic even getting into water sources. There are a lot of instances where the plastic from the people who get all this from the US, it ends up in river and water streams, like water sources, and it makes quality of life much harder for people. Next slide. Next slide. At Castro Valley, we do something called trash tracking, where it's usually a group of threes, but it can be more. One student holds the iPad, which has an app that Ben told us about, and it lets us be able to record the amount of trash we are picking up. So we have our trash, one person holding the trash bag and one person with the claw or picker upper thing. And like if we pick up a piece of plastic on the app, we can track how much. And I think the first person presenting from our team, Jalen, she talked about the amount of trash we've picked up, and it's a pretty good number. So yeah. Next slide. That's it for me.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie from Castro Valley Earth Team, and I did a little bit about what we learned this year, like in different like presentations and stuff. So we learned a lot about how to communicate like our scientific findings and like to communicate it to others through like reports, the news, textbooks, and documentaries and things like that. We learned how to engage people by like thinking about what people can relate to or connect with. We learned about urban forestry as well as how to like calculate the benefits of it. And we learned how the greenhouse gas effect contributes to urban forestry. Next slide. We learned about watersheds as well, and we learned about how watersheds boundaries are defined by topography, and we also learned like how to like identify plants, which I think someone talked about a little bit earlier, but we learned a lot about how like there are different like scientific and common names for them, and like there are different like questions to keep in mind when trying to identify a plant. So yeah, next slide.
All right, so I'm Ben, and I'm going to be talking about the water testing that we did throughout the year. So in Earth Team, we conducted a total of 27 water tests at Coal Canyon, which is an area of water in Castro Valley. So following GLOBE protocol, we tested the water at Coal Canyon for alkalinity, nitrates, pH, temperature, dissolved oxygen, and turbidity. And after we did that, then we would collect soil samples around the water, and we would test those for nitrates, phosphorus, and potassium and pH. And once we finished, we got our data and updated it to the GLOBE website. And we plan to continue doing this, except for the pandemic, which stopped us. Next slide. So those are pictures of Coal Canyon, so you can see the examples of water and the soil samples that we were able to get, I guess. And next slide.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm with the Castro Valley Earth Team, and I'm here to talk about what we were going to do, but because of Corona, we can't do it anymore. And although our Zoom meetings have been fun online, Earth Team still had a lot of fun stuff planned out for us. So one of the first things that we were going to be doing was to be continuing with the waste campaign at our campus. We had already started it by planning out some posters to put up around school and by emailing our campus administration so that we can talk to them about how we can reduce the amount of waste that Castro Valley produces. And then another thing that we were going to be doing was going to the YES conference, which is learning about how other kids our age have and what they've been doing to protect the environment. And we would be going to the Alameda National Wildlife Refuge to help protect endangered birds. And one of the last few things that we'd be doing this year would be going to Coal Canyon and Don Castro to be doing restoration work and to be testing more water quality. Next slide.
I'm Kevin, and I'm here to show some suggestions for our school and community to make it more environmentally friendly. One of these things was to reduce use of plastic utensils and individually wrapped plastic that we were giving out in our cafeteria that we're giving not useful waste. And one of these other things was to add more trash cans in areas with high volumes of trash, like the circled area on the map. which from our trash tracking showed that there was a high volume of trash. Next slide.
So that was the presentation from Castro Valley Earth Team. We wanted to give a special thanks to Ms. Knudsen for letting us use her classroom all year. Yeah, that is all. Are there any questions?
Hi, this is Charlie again. I have a question for anyone on the team to answer. What was your favorite plant that you learned to identify this year?
All right, so I might have forgotten the name of this tree, but it's a tree that is very common throughout the Bay Area, especially at Lake Chabot. And it has this very nice scent on the leaves, and it apparently helps you with headaches. And although I haven't really had a headache outside, it's really nice to just pluck a leaf and enjoy its scent.
Thanks for sharing that.
Also in the chat, Kayla, a Castro Valley intern, said that she liked the strawberry tree a lot. Those of you at San Lorenzo also know about the strawberry tree. It's a good one. Thank you, Kayla. And Ivan, that tree is a bay laurel.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, last chance for questions. And if not, oh, Miss Adams from Arroyo High is wondering if we found any watercress at Don Castro. I don't believe we did. Anyone want to add on that?
Ben, it looks like there's another question in the chat as well.
Oh, yes, there's another one here. Sorry about that. So yeah, I do believe we did not find any watercress at Don Castro, Miss Adams. Thank you for the question. The next question is from Abby. She's wondering what we did with the information from the water quality testing. I believe Ben briefly mentioned that. Do you want to reiterate that, Ben?
Yeah, we got the data and we just uploaded it to the Globe website, I believe. And yeah, I'm not sure what they do with it though.
Yeah, just for context, Globe is publicly available data on water quality throughout the country, and I believe also throughout the world. So anybody can go on their website and get data on water quality that is crowdsourced. All right, any other questions or follow-up questions?
This isn't a question, but can I just say that I was so impressed with all the work. This is Joelle, by the way. I'm the program director at our team, and I just wanted to say to all of the students at all three of these schools, I was really impressed with all the work that you have done throughout the year. I think you guys have done an incredible job, and I'm really glad that you had the chance to collaborate with each other a little bit throughout the year too. And I also just wanted to say that I'm really, really impressed with how resilient everyone has been, and willing you guys have all been to switch to Zoom and stick with Earth Team, even though we've all been kind of stuck inside, and even though our program changed and wasn't exactly what we had all anticipated it looking like this year. So I'm just really proud of all of you and grateful that all of you stayed committed to each other, and were able to continue doing really great work, even though you couldn't be together in person.
All right, and we did get one more comment. It says it's a great idea to switch to a social media campaign after shelter in place, which credit to the team. I am not very social media savvy myself, so I want to give the team a lot of credit for that and deciding what to post. So thank you for your comment. All right, I think that is all the questions I'm seeing now. So we can move on. Our final presenter of the day is going to be our San Lorenzo High Earth Team. So if you could go to the next slide, we can hop in here. So San Lorenzo High has been a part of Earth Team for many years now, and they've worked on a large number of projects throughout that time. And this year we did actually get to continue some of the projects we worked on in previous years. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Yeah, next slide.
Hi, my name's Kiali, and one of the big things we did in our team were litter pickups. We did litter pickups on campus and at the Hayward shoreline,
In total, we picked up 1,518 pieces of litter. And after the shelter in place, we did 11 at-home waste audits where we got data for each team member's trash. We found that 7 out of the 11 team members' households did not recycle properly, and we found that 5 out of the 11 team members' households did not compost at all. We also found that most common trash items were soft plastic and paper towels. Next slide. And then when we did the litter pickups on campus, we found that the places with the most trash and that needed more trash cans were the front of the school and the garden. You can see it in the red circles. Next slide.
Hi, I'm Roberto. And this year, we worked at several sites for restoration, including locations like Don Castro, Oyster Bay, MLK Shoreline, and Montclair Railroad Trail, which was pretty fun going to different places. And in total, we removed 1,100 square feet of invasives and mulched 250 square feet, which was my favorite part. And we also had help from other schools. Next slide.
Hello, my name is Israel, and one work that we had with some Arroyo students, we removed some French broom from the hillsides at Montclair Railroad Trail. We used new tools that removed the woody roots, totaling 500 square feet of invasive removed. This was personally my favorite because I like using tools because it's working smarter, not harder. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Ellie, and so for this year we focused on water testing as our project, and we actually plan to do more water testing sessions, but due to COVID-19, we had to stop it. And the place that we went to collect the data was at the College Key Park, and the body of water we worked on is actually called the Coyote Creek, which is actually connected to the San Lorenzo Creek, which is our main focus for this whole project. And during these sessions, we also collected data such as pH levels, nitrate, phosphate, and dissolved oxygen, which are some things that we tested for in the water. And throughout these sessions, we also developed skills such as teamwork, accurate data collection, and chemical analysis. In the next slide, please.
Hi, my name is Eileen, and I was the only one to go on a field trip from San Lorenzo. And we went to the beach. We had the most fun, and it was a really good experience for bonding with everyone. Next slide. We went to Fort Ross. Going to Fort Ross was one of the best experiences I had on the trip. I learned very much about other stories during colonial times in America. So Fort Ross is a former Russian establishment on what is now Sonoma County. And the reason is, one of the reasons why it's so important is because it's California's first site of the first windmill and shipbuilding. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Eduardo Castro, and we were working on SLZ's social media campaign. And in our social media campaign, we were attempting to propel our message to reduce water consumption and wasting. As a team, we created many posts to reach a wide audience on social media. We created informational posts, humorous posts, and factual posts to publish to the official or team Instagram. Our team focused on making humorous posts to make our goal very simple to understand, so the main idea is easily received by our followers. Next slide. Our goal at our team is to leave this earth better than it was before we've entered it. For our teachings to be passed on to other people, and those people pass their teachings on. Our goal with our campaign was to educate people on how they could reduce water waste consumption. And if you look on your right, this is one of our official posts that we posted on Instagram about 2 weeks ago. And we try to get across to our followers by using humor. Next slide.
Hi, my name's Jose, and we achieved our goal by releasing public data, information, and facts in small, brief posts that got the main point across. Most of our social media posts came with an image. The image on the right, we didn't use the image in the Instagram, but it's an example image. Next slide. The results were measured in the amount of activity we got on the Instagram post, really like likes and comments. We got over 100 likes on our post and a few good comments, and we hope our messages encouraged people to take care of the planet. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Adelise, and here are some suggestions for a more sustainable SLZ. Ways that we can make a more sustainable SLZs to adopt more widespread recycling and composting, because lots of recyclables and food waste end up in our trash at our school. And we can put more trash cans at previously discussed locations, especially in the front of the school and the parts in the map that have the red circle, so in the back of the school too. And we could also put up posters to encourage throwing trash in appropriate bins so that students will want to throw away their trash more. Next slide.
Okay, special thanks to SLC High administration for letting us use the classroom. Pamela, I think that's pronounced Beat, and Kimberly Crispin at East Bay Parks for guidance and mentorship. Yeah, at Oyster Bay and MLK Shoreline. Cynthia Butter and Jennifer Travis for organizing Hayward Shoreline cleanups. And if there are any questions.
Before we move on to questions for San Lorenzo, I do see we missed one for Castro Valley from Miss Adams. Again, you asked, besides Instagram, what other social media platforms are you on? We posted our campaign for both of these schools mostly on our Instagram, but also on our Facebook. And Earth Team also does have a Twitter, and we recently created a TikTok that I don't believe we have posted on yet. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, Charlie.
No, we haven't posted any TikTok videos yet. I think that's going to be a goal for next program year.
Great, so now opening it up for questions for San Lorenzo. Anyone have any questions?
Hi, this is Charlie. I have a question. I enjoyed all of the different Earth Team social media posts, but I also found yours very humorous and they definitely made me laugh. My question is, for the posters you were planning to put up around San Lorenzo High School, were you planning to also make them humorous and include memes?
Does anyone want to give an answer to that? We did make a couple mock-ups. Yeah. Thank you, Roberto. Yes, we were, I think, planning on making them humorous. We got a message also from Cynthia Butler, who just said that she would like to congratulate the group. Thank you for the congratulations, Cynthia. We appreciate it. Here's a question from Miss Adams. This is for all interns. So even if you're not at San Lorenzo, you can answer this if you have an answer. With shelter in place, how many of you have started an at-home garden?
Me.
I have as well.
My family and I were trying to create like a herb garden and then put it in our kitchen so that whenever we cook, we can like just pick from our plants and put it into our dish.
I already had a garden, but it definitely expanded since then.
Yeah, and we do have some people in chat also responding that they have created some gardens as well, or they are in the works. I would say I'm in the same boat as Shyla, who responded in chat, that we've been adding more and more plants to our garden since Shelter in Place started, personally as well. All right, last chance for questions for San Lorenzo. All right, Charlie, handing it off back to you then.
All right, well, congratulations and great job to all of the interns for your presentations, but also your incredible work this year. We would now like to open it up to all interns and guests to share any reflections about your time working with Earth Team this year. And I'm actually gonna stop sharing my screen and I'm going to invite you all to turn on your cameras so we can look at your faces. So if you have a reflection you would like to share, you can unmute yourself and just say it, or you can use the like a raise hand function in the chat, or just say that you want to that you'd like to say your reflection. And if you don't feel comfortable unmuting yourself, you can also type it into the chat.
I guess I can start it with like doing the weed stuff was actually very nice. It also made me look around my community a lot more, and I was able to notice a lot of other invasives, which, you know, like, oh, this pretty yellow flower is actually invasive, and a lot of people just don't know that. So it definitely helped to raise awareness, especially when I told random other people, like, hey, that flower, it's bad.
Thank you for sharing that, Ivan. That's something that I have also been doing. I'll be out on walks with my family or friend, and I'll point at a tree, like especially if it's a eucalyptus tree, and I'll just go off on how it's non-native. Anyone else like to share their reflection?
I would just like to challenge all of you this summer to help your neighbors, especially if you have elderly neighbors. Maybe pull some weeds and help them out, since we're sheltered in place and a lot of them are not leaving their home because of COVID. I think it's really important to, you know, use this as an opportunity to do more community service, especially that we are all going out for the summer, and there are so many restricted things to do. And if you can social distance and make sure that you can, you know, do the work, I think it would be really helpful. It also looks great on your resumes, as you all know, and it looks great for you too, because you know you've helped somebody in your community.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that, Miss Adams. It's also a great socially distant activity to do. All right, Madeline, did you want to share a reflection?
I was just gonna say that this was my first year joining Earth Team, and as a senior, I'm kind of sad that I couldn't be like excited to do it next year as well. But I hope to at least like try to do my part in the community and like in the environment to like make less waste and like compost and recycle.
Thanks for sharing, Madeline. I just have to say I really enjoyed having you in Earth Team. I enjoyed having everyone in Earth Team, and it was also my first year. And I'm also not going to be continuing on with Earth Team next program year, which makes me very sad, but I'll just share my reflection very quick. I've had quite a number of jobs in my life, and Earth Team has by far, hands down, been my favorite job that I have ever had. And it's because I got to show up every single Tuesday to hang out with the Arroyo kids, and I also am the coordinator for Skyline. So every Wednesday I would see them. And sometimes as like a scientist, especially working in climate change and the environment and conservation, sometimes you can get a little down about the state of the world and maybe kind of pessimistic. But the fantastic work that all of the Earth Team interns do and produce, and their drive and motivation and passion really gives me hope for the future and makes me feel really good about life. So thank you to all of the interns for being your fabulous selves.
We got some reflections in the chat that I just wanted to read out for the team. One is from Kayla from Castro Valley. She said her favorite memory was when we did a litter cleanup at MLK Shoreline. I believe that was on Coastal Cleanup Day. I've heard from a lot of people that that was a really fun event. Unfortunately, I was not there. I was at our litter cleanup at Hayward Shoreline, but I've heard from a lot of people that that was a very interesting day. Also, Jalen from Castro Valley said that she would like to say that she met so many new people who are all amazing and very different. And she wanted to thank everybody, both staff and students, for making her first year in Earth Team very enjoyable. We also had a reflection from Shyla, also from Castro Valley, that said doing the litter cleanups made her feel like she was helping out and doing something for the environment, and it showed what people tend to toss to the side. Also, everyone on her team was very fun and smart, and it was nice to know all of them. And Cece, Ms. Adams said, thank you, Charlie, and we've made a great impact on our students. I also wanted to say thank you to all of my interns and the Arroyo team. All of the students in this meeting right now I've actually worked with a lot, so I just want to say you all are so incredible, and you inspire me every day, and every time I got to meet you was a time that I looked forward to. So thank you all so much for all your work and just for being yourselves. Y'all are all such incredible people, and I wish there were more of all of you in the world, because then the world would be a much better place. So thank you so much.
This is Cynthia from the Flood Control District. I just want to congratulate you all again. I think it is just absolutely amazing what you're doing, that you all step up and do this work. And I know I have 2 high schoolers myself. I know it's been a really hard year with the shelter in place, but I think it's just amazing that you've continued. And I just want to say congratulations to you seniors. I think the work that you're doing here is going to help you go so far, all of you, for your future careers. I just think it's amazing. So congratulations and thank you all. And the Flood Control District really enjoys supporting you and is so proud to support you as well.
Well, hi, this is Manuel. And now that Cynthia is here, I want to thank her and her agency for helping financing the program. This is a small drop in the ocean, but through the years, you guys are not alone. I mean, you are now here 35. This year we had 100 of you participating in our program, but 1,000 of you have been trained and educated in the last 8 years. So that starts being something. I think that sense of hope is because you guys are all gonna go out there and be science ambassadors and just maybe, sometimes I like to say, maybe we have low hope, but we have a lot of determination, a lot of emphasis on working hard will get us far. So building this hope, one of you at a time, is what keeps us all going. So I'm very proud of this year's work. Has been very challenging with the shelter in place, but the team has done an amazing work in switching very quickly to remote right away. And I've seen a lot of these meetings and it's really inspiring. So for someone like me that has been working in environmental causes for 30 years, this is what I like to do because I like the energy of young people and all the things that you are helping, to do. So thank you to the staff and to the agencies that have helped supported with funding the program. We'll be back next year, rain or shine, because this is about just keeping at it year after year, and eventually we all together, we're gonna make a difference. So thank you all. Back to mute.
Thank you for sharing that. Do any other guests or interns like to share their reflection?
Hi, not really a reflection. This is Jared Savas from Supervisor Wilma Chan's office, and I just want to, I've been listening in the whole time, and I just want to congratulate all the interns for a wonderful, wonderful job. This is such an important issue, and the work you do is extremely inspiring to our office, and I know I can say for other elected officials too. We really congratulate you, and this has to be a trying set of circumstances under which to do this work. So the fact that you're able to do such great work in spite of all that is really, really amazing. So just wanted to share that. We congratulate you. You're doing a wonderful job, and we know you'll continue to do great work going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared, for sharing that and for joining our meeting today. We really, really appreciate it. If anyone else would like to share their reflection, feel free to unmute yourself or type it in the chat. All right, going once, going twice.
If I could say something real quick, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's made this program for us. It was a really amazing opportunity to learn a lot of new things, especially for me. I've been kind of new to learning more about the environment. So yeah, learning about how to identify invasive plant species has been really cool. So just everything about this program has just been amazing. So thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. And then in the chat, Eileen says, thank you to Ben for always being early and enthusiastic at every meeting.
I thank you, Eileen. I don't think I've ever been thanked for being early before. I'm usually not super good at being on time for things. So thank you for that. That means a lot to me. That shows I'm growing.
All right, I think this will be our last call for reflections. All right, well, if there are no more reflections, then I guess we can end a bit early. But before we do, I would like you all to turn on your cameras one last time, and so we can all wave to each other, because while we're sheltering in place, we don't often get to see each other's faces, and it warms my heart to be able to see you all. And yeah, thank you so much for attending our meeting today. Thank you to the interns for your fantastic hard work and your presentations. I know it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but you all did a fantastic job. And of course, thank you to all the guests for attending and listening and asking questions. Okay, let's wave. Oh, beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.